It's hours away, and you're asking, what is hours away?
The Constitution requires a president to appoint the chairman on the advice of the Prime Minister after consultation. Mr. Jared Burton, who's a distinguished Dominican, is the chairman of the commission. They're complaining about corrupt lawyers, Alec Lawrence and Kondwani Williams, on the commission. But they're not telling the people about the two party hacks, activists, the party rats.
The party rats, huh? Let me listen to Tony Asafan. I'll give you a hint of what is coming up tomorrow. Mr. Wayne James and Hillary Schillenford. Tony Asafan, I suspect something is coming.
The Constitution requires a president to appoint the chairman on the advice of the Prime Minister after consultation. Mr. Jared Burton, who's a distinguished Dominican, is the chairman of the commission. They're complaining about corrupt lawyers, Alec Lawrence and Kondwani Williams, on the commission. But they're not telling the people about the two party hacks, activists, the party rats.
A fly on the wall told me that these two gentlemen might just expose who the real rats are. Stick around and find out. We're opening the lines at this time. In the next few minutes, I'll be talking to a retired, if you will, police officer who claims that he was not treated rightly and is still waiting for his day of justice. Stick around and find out who it is. Hello, talk to me. Mola.
Not all I do is I don't listen to me. I just have to laugh, you know. All I do is I have to laugh. I got enough niggas, but I just have to laugh.
Well, I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, Mr. Hillary Schillenfeld will be sitting right next to me here. He will give his side of the story. I suspect from just some hints that you don't want to be anywhere else but next to your radio tomorrow. Hello, talk to me. 449-3095. Yes.
I should praise his thanks, blessings, and glory to all.
To you, sir, to you.
Mr. Pelty, blessings and your family.
Yes,
Matt, it's very interesting. I'm listening to everything, and it's a bit annoying, disgusting, Matt. Matt, I was downtown yesterday, and I was listening to you, and I don't know who called, but you was interacting with somebody who said that there were just bullets flying all over the place, police officers in pursuit of whoever, suspect or whatever, and just shooting a lot of bullets all over the air, in the air. That isn't, am I correct, Matt?
In St. Joseph, yes.
In St. Joseph. And Matt, there's a new trend right now, and it's frightening. I'm not frightened, but those who have the most to lose supposed to be concerned. Matt, you notice, even on DBS, you know that whole thing about the cocaine, how many 1,000 grams of cocaine, they never mentioned it. The shooting, they never mentioned it. That's the guy who gets shot in his abdomen, Matt. You heard about it in the John Kelleblora Primary School, that they had a jam there. I was not even aware of that. It's on the news, I heard it, and I'm just living a few yards away from there. You there with me, bro?
Yes.
So, I don't know if we're trying to cover up the state of lawlessness and madness in that country. And Matt, can you please update me? Were there anybody who surrendered or who they catch in relation to the barrel and the guns, Matt?
No. As a matter of fact, I'm hearing some interesting developments, which I will not reveal at this time, but no further information. I've been told that the police may have a news conference later this week. Maybe, they might reveal a few things.
And I just wanted to say something quickly in closing. You there with me?
Go ahead, sir.
All right. Matt, the other day when you and Carlisle, I think the whole thing about a man raping his wife. And I saying it is ridiculous enough, Matt, for a man to have to go that far. But we are not naive. You could have your wife in your house, there, Matt, knowing that you may have done something and she's trying to punish you, or she may be involved with somebody else, or she maybe just want a way out. And maybe weeks and months, Matt, you just cannot get food. No matter how much she cook for you, she may be cooking for you, but you just cannot get food, Matt. You just cannot get, and I'm talking about food in a little, trying to just disguise it. And you find you want to take food, you force yourself, and, in a little tussle, no bruises, no abrasions, nothing. And then that woman take you to court, Matt. And then there is no mediation. There is no avenue where we are going to say, you want a divorce, you want to separate for a couple months or something to cool off or something. Matt, the best thing is to send the man to jail. What happened to the family? What happened to the children, Matt? So the shredders of the tapestry of the family, Matt, they are in pursuit of really shredding the family to shreds, Matt. I'm sounding a little complicated. But I am saying, look at the turn children against the parents already. Now to turn the husband against wife and wife against husband, imprison the husband, or if it's the wife, or if the woman wants a way out and she just concocted something, where is the evidence to prove that there was rape?
But listen to me, this is no joke, I have the sexual offenses bill just in front of me. Let me just read a piece of this for you. A husband is guilty of the offense of rape where he has sexual intercourse with his wife without her consent by force, fear, or the use of drug or a thing without intent to stupefy or overpower her. This was in the books before, but they would have only charged you for rape if, for example, you were in the divorce court and a decree of judicial separation, or if you were separated by you were in that process where you and your wife was going through divorce, and you were separated and you came to visit and you forced sex. That was what it was before, but they have removed all of this and basically saying, boss, if you have sex without her consent, that's it for you, Blessings.
My God, no.
That's it.
Matt, what I'm saying, let us say you may be a well-to-do person. You there with me, Matt?
Yes.
And the woman wants a way out because she realized that, and there is no justification for she just moving. She may get less. But if there's something to justify she requesting a divorce or something like that, Matt, then she's just going to cry out rape. But where is the evidence? How can she prove that you raped her if there is no serious abrasions, bruises, cuts, maybe a black eye or something? And I'm just saying in closing, Matt, those who have initiated a lot of these things are Westerners, and we follow in blindly a few steps behind them, Matt, not realizing that has failed them. The family, the same tapestry, that hand-woven piece of fabric, Matt, colored, beautiful. The shredders have shredded to shreds, Matt. And we know we are going to try to implement those type of laws into the family, Matt. Matt, look at the family today. Look at the family. That's the glue that holds a society together. No wonder everything is falling apart. There is no sense of family anymore. Everybody's on their own like wolves just raving all around looking for pieces of flesh. What about something tightly nipped like the family? Where is that? So, Matt, it is crazy for a man to be jailed for he being accused of raping his wife. Yes.
You know, one of the strong advocates for rape in marriage was the now speaker, Alex Boyd Knight.
I know she's a very strong advocate for that. So, Matt, could it be that all the influence is finally taking root, Matt? So man don't want to marry again. There's no family, no sense of family.
There may be some hesitation these days, men getting married, because there's a possibility. If there's some vexation within the marriage and you try to force sex on your wife, you will be taken down.
My brother, it is crazy. It is insane, Matt. Anyway, blessings. I'm listening.
Blessings to you. Blessings. Let's take a phone call there. Hello.
Hi, Matt. Good morning.
Morning to you. Yeah.
How are you, Matt?
Good.
Good. Matt, listen, I have a concern in the Wesley with Fortail and Palm Tree area.
What's your concern, ma'am?
And it's something to do with the Wesley police station, Matt. Matt, I just want to say congratulations to those policemen that are working at the Wesley police station, Matt. They're really doing a good job by keeping the peace and keeping the village safe. But, Matt, if they haven't got any tools to work, such as a vehicle, you know that is a problem for us. And now, with the independence coming up, Matt, there's a lot of visitors coming in all around the place, on the beach, you know, everywhere. And if in the event of anything, which we hoping that everything goes smooth, but Matt, you can never tell. And you have to call on the Wesley police station, Matt. These people have to wait on either Marigot or Kalibishi to get a vehicle to go to the crime scene or whatever, and Matt, you know how that is going to be. So, Matt, right now, I'm calling on Raymond Blackmore, Minister for Security, to please, it's almost 5 months now, please get a vehicle for the Wesley police station, Matt. We need that here. I mean, on the Northeast, they're really neglecting us a lot. But if the citizens don't speak out, nothing can be happen. So I want to say to Raymond Blackmore, he's concerned about policemen not on duty on the street in Roseau. And if he's concerned about people's security, he should have a vehicle at the Wesley police station. So I just want him to, I don't know if he's listening, to get that message to please send a vehicle, even now, at the Wesley police station, because the Wesley policemen, they needed to get their duty done and to get their work done.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that concern. 826, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning to you.
Yes, Matt. You have a good friend by the name of Carlisle John Baptist, not true?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can you tell Carlisle John Baptist to get his credit union people to remove the barricade that is around the credit union for so many years? I mean, it is ridiculous. This is taking advantage of the...
I mean the galvanized fencing?
Yes, for so many years that's been there. And I mean, they should try and take it off before the holidays. I mean, there's so much traffic and everything all about the place. I mean, they have really taken advantage and stretched the joke too far.
I'll ask Kalal about this because he might know something about it, okay? Thank you very much. Happy anniversary to Part and Lambi. Please play Rod Stewart, You in My Heart, for them sometime later. Thank you very much. Hello. Yes?
Good morning.
To you, sir.
Good morning, Matt.
Yes.
Matt, I heard about some unfortunate situation in St. Joseph where shots were fired at a primary school, Matt. Is that correct?
It's not at a primary school. Careful what you say. Shots were fired, I suspect, up in the air, yes.
Right, Matt. It's an unfortunate, Matt. And I would imagine that the parents of the student, they are really outraged at this situation, Matt, based on what we have seen going on around the world, Matt. But, Matt, on another note now, Matt, I heard my friend Blessing talking about this sexual, this...
Rape in marriage. Right.
Matt, Matt, this is just nonsense. I mean, a man cannot rape his wife, Matt. And sin, Matt, through sin, this is just a reason.
He cannot rape his wife? Why would you say that? He can't.
Matt, because when people get married, Matt, they married for better, for worse, Matt. And sin has come into the world, and that's why these things coming, Matt. This is totally unacceptable.
You're talking on based on your biblical understanding of what marriage is or what marriage should be, but in terms of the laws of the land, that may be different.
Matt, the laws of the land, Matt. God governs every land, Matt. And the I mean, Matt, that
If God governed every country, I mean, why would we have laws? Why should we have laws?
well, God God has.
I suspect you want to think about this before you say what you say, okay? Let's take another phone call. Think about this very carefully. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Mark.
How are you doing?
And how are you?
Good.
Well, Mr. Mark, I am laughing before I refer that word to Mr. Mark. As we all know, independent around the corner. But what hurts me very when I hear lovely, Mr. Mark, is that lovely Dominica? And when we do take stock, we're singing lovely Dominica. What means to say Dominica lovely, but the people not lovely? Because if the people are lovely, I'm here yesterday on news. We are gone in St. Joseph among children. I mean, come on. We are Dominican. And if we're going to maintain that word, love, we don't know, we're only making mockery of ourselves. Because the Lord Jesus Christ, when he said love, he didn't say that in mockery. He said that with peace, love, and harmony. I wonder, calling on we Dominican, let us try to maintain, especially love among our brothers and our sisters. And as we approach that an independent, we will make sure put everything aside and don't put it aside for an hour or 3 days. Try to maintain that love among our brothers and our sisters.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McGlaw. We're going to take a break and come back. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have the response to this.
The Constitution requires a president to appoint the chairman on the advice of the Prime Minister after consultation. Mr. Jared Burton, who's a distinguished Dominican, is the chairman of the commission. They're complaining about corrupt lawyers, Alec Lawrence and Kondwani Williams, on the commission. But they're not telling the people about the two party hacks, activists, the party rats.
Oh boy. We're going to come back tomorrow with the response to this one. Coming back.
The practice is over. Now is the real thing. The Theocrats did it in 2015, but can they maintain bragging rights in 2016 and 2017 as the biggest cannabis band ever? Lucas Band wants it. Signal Band wants it. Breathe wants it. But who will it be? Come find out. Wednesday, November 2nd, Pottersville, Savannah. Tickets $60 in advance, 70 at the gate, and VIP $140 EC. Caddis comes alive 2016 at the Pottersville, Savannah. The biggest Caddis bands in Dominica on one stage, and Miss Band featuring Caddis legend Gordon Henderson. Don't miss it.
Good morning. It's 8:32. I told you we'll be talking here. Tomorrow seems to be a very controversial day in Parliament. Will be, or may prove to be, a very controversial day in Parliament. On the line with me is the opposition leader, Mr. Lennox Linton. A lot of concentration, Lennox Linton, on this piece of legislation or bill there to be brought before Parliament for debate on sex or rape in marriage. Mr. Linton, good morning. How concerned are you about this one?
Good morning, Matt. Good morning to you.
Morning.
The people of Dominica, people of Marigot and Concord, our brothers and sisters at home and abroad. First of all, Matt, the meeting of Parliament scheduled for tomorrow is going to examine 9 bills. It's going to deal with 9 bills, right? 9. 4 of which, in my view, are major pieces of legislation and require very careful study. Even require the public involvement in terms of hearing from the public what they feel about these matters before we have, for example, a bill for an act to amend the Sexual Offences Act, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a while. This is a matter that has been with the public for quite some time now, and I think it would be useful before Parliament goes through all three readings of this bill for the public to have an idea of what is being provided, and for the public to give its feedback. So I'm not sure, since we have wasted all this time in bringing it forward, what is the rush now to just get all three readings done in one sitting of the Parliament? Because there are some matters in there that I believe the community of church ought to be concerned about and would like to comment on. But we'll talk about that in a while. There's also, in addition to that, a bill for an act to make provisions in relation to bail or in connection with criminal proceedings in Dominica and for related matters. You have a bill for an act to provide for the development of an exploration and use of the geothermal resources and for related matters. And there is a bill for an act to amend the Tourism Regulation and Standards Act of 2005. I would think that would do well or would benefit from some input from the tourism stakeholders at least. I'm not sure to what extent it has been done. And we are seeking to deal with all of those matters in a single sitting of the Parliament. I've argued over the years that we need more regular meetings of the Parliament. And instead of having one meeting that is so congested with all of these matters, I see no reason why we could not be having at least two meetings of Parliament a month. We have had, so far for the year, two or three meetings of the Parliament for the whole year. And we're coming now to one meeting of Parliament where all these matters have to be dealt with. We're taking 9 bills through all three readings. And I'm saying there is a case can be made for the public to be involved in some of these matters by way of feedback to the legislators before they finally sign off on matters really that are public interest matters. To the question of the supplementary appropriations, we have now seen the papers $404 million spent above budget for the financial year July of 2015 to June of 2016. That financial year ended 4 months ago. But we are now going to ask the Parliament tomorrow to approve the supplementary appropriations for the entire year, $104 million. We have already passed the budget for this current financial year, but we are now approving supplementary appropriations 4 months later for the financial year ended on the 30th of June of 2016. And there seems to be an issue there of, I don't know if it's competence, I don't know if it's the indifference to the responsibility to be accountable to the people for the stewardship of their finances. In terms of the Sexual Offences Act, the amendment to the Sexual Offences Act of 1998, I think there was an expectation in the public that sentencing would be toughened in order to create deterrence, that there would be some attention paid to new areas where children were being abused that were not covered by the previous legislation. And there would be attention paid to instances of obstruction of justice, especially in terms of the payment of hush money and so on. And there was talk that a public offenders registry, a public registry for offenders, sexual offenders, especially offenders of minors, ought to be set up to protect children and again to act as a deterrent to these crimes. To an extent, some of these issues have been dealt with, and I'm particularly citing the work done in terms of bringing stiffer penalties and in terms of dealing with some of the new areas that we have discussed. I'm not sure whether the provisions for obstruction of justice, insofar as they concern the payment of bribe money and hush money and so on, I'm not sure that they go far enough, and I'm sure that's a matter that will be discussed. Hopefully we can agree and arrive at some amendments in committee. Or, alternatively, we may want to delay the second and third readings of this particular bill, issue a white paper, and get some involvement from the public, some feedback from the public of what's really going on. In terms of this matter that you referred to, having to do with what we refer to as spousal rape, the law is hoping to provide, okay, it's the bill in front of me now says, a husband is guilty of the offense of rape where he has sexual intercourse with his wife without her consent, by force, fear, or the use of a drug or thing with the intent to stupefy or overpower her. That is the provision in the amendment that is going before Parliament this week. It is that particular piece now is being amended from what was there before. The only thing that has changed is that in the previous act, in the Act 1998, the Sexual Offences Act of 1998, it provided similarly that a husband is guilty of the offense of rape where he has sexual intercourse with his wife without her consent, by force, fear, or the use of a drug or thing with intent to stupefy or overpower her. And there comes the conditions. Where there is in existence, in relation to them, A, a decree of divorce, B, a decree of judicial separation, C, a separation agreement, or D, an order for the husband not to molest his wife or have sexual intercourse with her. So in the previous act, there were conditions under which this matter of the rape of a spouse could be entertained. And those conditions basically said the marriage had to have ended, or the marriage had to be on its way out, and then you, the individual person in the marriage, can file for a case of rape against your spouse. Because in the legislation, the wife can also be guilty of rape. The other part of this, which perhaps is even more disturbing for married couples, has to do with the offense of unlawful sexual connection, which does not involve penetration. It's just, it's a touch in a certain area of the anatomy that is likely to cause sexual arousal. If the partner doesn't like it, the partner can deem it to be unlawful sexual connection, and that can be prosecuted as a crime. The issue for discussion in society, as far as I'm concerned, Matt, is how do you prosecute a case of rape against a spouse while the marriage is going on, so that spouses have to go into the court or have to be investigated by the police. A case is filed, it goes into the court, the marriage is going on, and they have to testify against each other. The court makes the decision that the rape took place. And so a part in the marriage now is going to jail for 14 years while the marriage is going on. Children are sitting down at home with the other part of the marriage, be it the husband or the wife, waiting for the jailed spouse to come back home after 14 years and live happily ever after. Is that practical?
It's not practical at all. I'm hoping there's some discussion.
So we need to discuss this. We need to talk about this, especially from the standpoint of the religious definition of the marriage, where ideally the two are becoming one. The two are supposed to be living in a union as a single unit, doing things, compromising, better, worse, richer, poorer, till death do them part. That's the ideal. And that's what people get married and try to work to. The question is, how does legislation like this which introduces the state now as the police of the private affairs of married couples that have not decided they want to get divorced. How does the state get involved in these matters and continue with the assumption, the feeling that the marriage is okay? I think once you get to that stage, Matt, once either party gets to that stage of thinking that they could be unlawfully connected with or abused or raped, then it's time for an end so that rape can be a ground for divorce. Or you see the point I'm making. And then I'm not sure that the church community that oversees marriages, that conducts marriages in Dominica, should not have its voice heard in terms of what expectations are, what the definition is and what the expectations are, and what they see for society going forward as married couples continue to live together or continue to endeavor to live together, hopefully happily ever after. So I believe that there is space for discussion of this matter, not on as we've been doing it in recent months, but right now, in terms of the specific proposals for amendment that are before the Parliament this week. The other matter involves, of course, the Register of Public Offenders, which the legislation does not address, and there is time for that to be considered as well. I think it's an important feature that needs to be introduced at this time. And I think the legislation ought not to be stepping back from addressing fully this matter of hush money being paid by the abusers or the accused abusers of young children, of minors. Understand clearly that they have made an attempt in this amendment to deal with obstruction of prosecution. And I will just read the segment for you that says, when a person prevents a minor from giving a statement to the police or testifying in proceedings relating to sexual offense, that person is guilty of an offense and liable on conviction to a fine of $50,000 and to imprisonment for a term of 5 years. That's an addition to the legislation, a new feature, which I presume is intended to cover this payment of hush money business and this bribery of people to take cases out of the court. Except that, in those circumstances, I consider if you attempt to bribe but don't succeed, then that's an offense as well. But the law doesn't capture that. What the law says is that, okay, if you attempt to prevent somebody but you don't succeed, then that's okay. and I think that's a matter that we need to pay very careful attention to, because you don't want a situation where people are out there making attempting to corrupt the process and not being penalized for it, attempting to pervert the course of justice, attempting to obstruct, and they only pay for it if they only get charged criminally if the person agrees to the bribe or to the act of prevention of the prosecution.
You're saying it does not go deep enough?
No, it does not, and I think it's sort of it's too broad, and it needs to nail down the specific concern that the society has had with people accepting money, people accepting bribes to let cases of child sexual abuse disappear before the court.
All right, Lennox Linton, I have to take you all there. Of course, there are a few other things we have to wrap up here this morning, but in Tristan, and I suspect we'll be playing a close look what goes on in Parliament tomorrow. Thank you very much. We're coming back after this.
Practice is over. Now is the real thing. The T-Orchestra did it in 2015, but can they maintain bragging rights in 2016 and 2017 as the biggest Caliph band ever? Lucas Band wants it. Signal Band wants it. Breathe wants it. But who will it be? Come find out. Wednesday, November 2nd, Pottersville, Savannah. Tickets $60 in advance. Senti at the gate. And VIP $140 EC. Caddis Comes Alive 2016 at the Pottersville, Savannah. The biggest Caddis bands in Dominica on one stage. And Miss Band featuring Caddis legend Gordon Henderson. Don't miss it.
Of course, the issue of rape within marriage will be discussed. The pastors are listening. I'll be talking to a pastor on the top of the hour here. But let's, of course, introduce our guest for a few minutes here. He's been sitting here waiting to tell his story for the next, for a few minutes. Good morning, Mr. Thomas. How are you?
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good, good. Very interesting story to be told by you. You were a police officer?
Yeah, it was. For 17 years.
And what happened to you?
Well, on the 30th of May, 99.
Right.
I was working in Marigot at the time. I got injured in the line of duty, where a prisoner escaped from the cell, and then we went after looking for him, and I was knocked with a stone on my head.
Unconscious?
Unconscious for 12 hours.
12 hours?
Yeah.
What happened subsequently?
Well, I was admitted at the hospital, and then I was discharged. My left part of my face the jaw was broken, and I was filled with braces for, say, a month and a half. And after that, I went out. I went overseas for the first time. I went to Antigua to get some scan. Then I came back. Well, when I left, Sergeant Mills was in charge of the station at the time when I got injured.
Okay.
And he was reluctant in helping me. Told me that I could use my money to go overseas when I know it's on the job I got injured. And then he told me that he will only give me $2,000, which he did from the Welfare Association. I went overseas. When I came back with my report. I gave it to my doctor, Dr. Paul, and then he did what he had to do. And then he sent me to the ENT specialist, that is Dr. Pascal. And then I have a problem with my hearing, my left side. I doesn't hear on my left side of my left ear. I'm not hearing in it, because it's there the stone hit me. And
so you were permanently damaged there?
I was permanently damaged. I went, then after about a year on sick leave, I was referred to a medical board. They referred me, and then they examined me, and then they board me off. Since after then, I've never received any compensation from government.
So you were never compensated?
Never.
Did you take it to the court?
I took it to the court, but then, first of all, I employed Mr. Alec Lawrence as my lawyer. Then, after a few months, he told me no, he will refer me to Julian Privot.
Okay.
I went, Julian Privot filed a complaint, we went to the court, and then, I don't know for what reason, Justice Scuttle threw it out. I don't know for what reason at all. Because Mr. Privot found it was strange that he did that. And then, whilst that was going on, I decided, well, okay, I'm not taking any stress upon that and so, but then anyway, I will looking out for something. I went to the Prime Minister myself, Mr. Pierre Charles. He told me he would do something for me. Unfortunately, he left. Then I went to Prime Minister Skerrit. About the year after he came into power, he told me he would do something for me. Then he told me to come back and check him. Then I went back to check him. Then he sent me to Ian Douglas. Ian Douglas was the Attorney General. He had tell me he would help me out and so, because I know Ian like a boy, you know. I brought him to school. I his father. And then things went on, and I decided, well, for all that I have to be suffering. Then I went to Guadeloupe in 2000, late 2000, and then when I went, the doctor told me why I stay so late, because my whole left side of my head was filled with clot blood, and I had to be going up and down to Guadeloupe, Martinique, for treatment. For the past 6 years, I've been going up and down my own pocket. No assistance from government, nobody. I alone was. NDFD was helping me out. Sometimes Dr. Paul, yes, he's there now. He will help me out. And lately Fast Cash. With all that, I could not pay my loan for my house. I lost my house. Then a few years down the line, while I lost my wife left her go because she realized maybe she could not.
You can't take care of her anymore.
Of her, and so she go about her business. Anyway, I continue my struggles, and now I feel in that
enough is enough.
Enough is enough. I cannot take it any longer. I need some money. My house is in Wesley. It is just there. Bank have it. I told the bank to sell it if they can. I cannot pay them to sell it. I cannot pay it so.
So you were in the line of duty?
Yes, I was at the station at the time, and Sergeant Mills was in charge of the station at the time. When we went to pursue
I'm sure there are people out there saying, why now?
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm not this kind of public person that will go publicly when I feel. But now the pressure is on me now. The onus is on me. The bank is taking me to court. NDFD is taking me to court for the thing. Right now, I don't know what to do.
And you don't think it's fair?
It's not fair to me, and then it's not fair to some policemen, because I got a lot of assistance from some policemen, which are my friends, and they tell me, why Thomas, why you doing, what happened to you, there are some concerned ones, but then they are prior to that, Mr. Daru, Simon Daru, he recommended a pension for me along with Mr. Phil.
So not even that you get it?
No, I don't get nothing like that.
How many years you served?
17 and a half years.
17 and a half years. Let's take a few phone calls and we'll come back. Hello.
Mr. Peltier, blessings to you, sir.
Yes.
My brother, I sympathize and empathize with you, and I pray that something can happen for you. Matt, a former police officer got injured, gets struck with a rock.
On the line of duty, yes. In the line of duty, yes.
Line of duty. And Matt, you know how the dirty politics is. No wonder the brother is coming out now, because he was hoping if he keep his mouth shut, somebody would have assisted him. But with nothing happening for him, Matt, then he loses his wife, he loses his house. Matt, a former police officer that risked his life to secure lives and property, when he get himself in that situation, everybody abandon him, Matt. Matt, what that is going through, and I'm suggesting or insinuating that the brother do anything. But Matt, when you back a man against a corner, like in a corner like that, my brother, what is left to think? What is left to do? Matt, that is criminal in itself, Matt. So no wonder police officers these days, my brother, just checking. But me, I telling you, I've seen things happening, and some police officers are passing straight. They don't want to risk their lives because they know it's for nothing. And two little politicians come, then they get rich overnight. And man that have to run on high seas, in forest, gangsters, drugs, guns, all kind of violence, cutlass, when they get messed up, they're left for dead, Matt. Matt, Dominica is a strange place, my brother. Blessings.
It's 8:58. We're taking another phone call there. Hello.
Good morning, Matt, and good morning to your guest, Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Matt, as a former police officer, I can sympathize with Mr. Thomas. And Matt, I just don't know why this present Labour administration continue to treat policemen like that. Policemen, former police officers who deserved what they're supposed to get. And Mr. Thomas is not the only person in that position, who deserve what they're supposed to get. and they are treating them in that way. From what I've heard from Thomas, it is clear that he was injured in the line of duty. As to why the judge threw out his matter is another thing. There are always two sides to a story. But I heard Mr. Thomas saying that the Prime Minister telling him he would help him out, and Ian telling him he'll help him out because he's to bring Ian to school. It's not the matter of help out. It's not the matter of help, but that is what he is entitled to. He was supposed to be getting a pension and assistance. All his medical bills are supposed to be paid. So I want to call on the government of Dominica, to tell them to stop treating former police officers like that. We work hard, we serve the state, most of us honorably, and then when it comes for us to get what we're supposed to get, they're treating us like this. That is not good at all, Matt. I hope, Thomas, something work out for you. Have a pleasant day.
All right, Mr. Thomas, what is it that you would like from government or from the authorities? Just before you answer that, let me take a phone call there. Hello.
Yes, my brother, I sympathize with the police officers for seeing what had happened on duty. And first his house, his wife. My brother, it's sad, and the other police officers, they have to watch themselves, but the same thing might happen to them in the future. See, they are a league on their own to do what's right for the country. And if they don't do what they're supposed to do, remember, no one can control them but the commissioner. So they have to do what they have to do. And my brother, this happening to you, I don't want you to resort into anything, but don't take it lightly, man. Do whatever you got to do, man, to survive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take another phone call. Hello. Yes.
Matt, it's amazing, you know, Matt. Matt, a parliamentarian serves for 2 terms, and he gets a pension. A police officer serves for 17 years. He is injured in the line of duty, and he gets nothing. What is this a fair system? What do you want him to revert to? My God, Matt, this place is going to have a good day.
Thank you very much. It's 449-3095, 449-3096, and 449-3097. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, all I want from...
Speak to the mic.
Yeah, all I want to see from the government is to assist me and to assist me in the proper way. But in the line of that, I met me and Mr. Blackmore. We trained together.
You spoke, trained together, okay.
We trained together, myself and Mr. Weeks and so on. And we had a little fracas one of those days. I mean, a little talk. And then he told me, you don't see you're not getting anything because of what? Once I'm here, you will not get anything. Once I'm in the government, you will not get anything from the government.
He told that to you?
He told me to buy the Lotto shop up there. So I don't know.
Oh, boy. It's 9:01 in the morning. This is the hot set. Somebody says, Matt, you should play this song. Exile 1. No travail pour rien.
C'était en carapène de nous bien chaînés à nos petits bateaux. Jour et nuit, nous coincés, nous bien bateaux. Pas de question de revoir Afrique encore. Nous en captivité, ça pas qu'à faire fort. Nous débarquer dans un pays qui n'est soleil. C'est un peu comme chez nous, mais c'est pas pareil. Yo graissé moi, yo exposé moi avec beaucoup de soin. Et comme un marchandise, yo vend moi. Pas de travail.
903, hello.
Morning, Matt.
Morning to you, sir.
This is Free Joseph.
Yes,
I
Free.
would like to ask a question with no criticism. What I would like to ask the officer, when they join the police station, does it have a contract that stipulates things that your benefits to your beneficiaries, or or your protection in society. I don't want to criticize and just listen to questions. And if it have a higher order that he could have gone to, I mean, within the police ranks, out of Dominica or the Caribbean, that he could have proposed to them his delinquencies, man. So what I say in this, not criticizing, there are contracts when police joins the police force, right? And there are things that are provided for the benefits of the officers. Thank you.
All right. Well, when you joined, the basic question is: when you signed the contract, were you told that you would benefit as a result of these things?
Well,
in the line of duty,
signing contract. But once the law is there under the police regulation law, 1401.
Okay.
You read it to say that if you injured, you're supposed to get compensation, and if you medically bought off.
So the laws provide for that.
Law is provided for that.
All right. Thank you very much. Free. So yes, there's the law for that. Hello, talk to me.
Hello, good morning, Matt.
Yes, how are you, sir?
Yes, I okay, Matt. Matt, this is a sad story, and that is why I will continue to say that this is not a caring government. And that is why some people will say everything is politics. But this is definitely politics, Matt. How can you have a man that was part of your military establishment being injured on the line of duty, and you will give him nothing? I am forced to conclude if he was a head or a bellot, $500,000 would be coming his way, Matt. All this money they have given to individuals that fail to win their seat, $6,000, $6,500 a month. Give a man $1,500, like he brushes his face on that. That is a man that grew up from a poor family, very ambitious, bought land and built a house for his family. Today, everything going away, and you have a government that tells us they care. Totally false and misleading, man. You cannot care. This is a relatively young man, and you have him languishing. You have to go to the Prime Minister and sit down. Maybe you have to put a red shirt underneath your jacket. What foolishness is that? You have to go to Ian Douglas. Ian Douglas always ready to help, but actually delivers nothing. That cannot be fair. I wouldn't even talk about the police welfare division. But it's a sad story, man, especially based on the fact that I know the gentleman.
And you seem to know him pretty well. Did you ever find out who sent the stone?
Yeah, someone was convicted and for the offense.
All right, thank you very much. Hello.
Matt.
Yes.
I'm there listening to that, boss. I'm almost in tears, you know. Matt, no, and that's the kind of person I am, Matt. When you see somebody is being treated badly like that, Matt, come on, Matt, a former police officer that is being treated like that, and listen to what he said. He had the encounter with Blackmon, what he was told, Matt. So according to the last caller there, what he have to go and wave a big flag everywhere and start cursing people for him to get something, Matt. Matt, people that have done nothing for the country is getting millions of dollars. Look at those lawyers that are selling passports, Matt. Matt, I have a story to tell you about a lawyer, a big, rich, millionaire lawyer, and how he tried to steal $2,000 from a young lady from St. Joseph, Matt. Matt, and the brother have given up his life, Matt. Anything, he could have died. And you mean to tell me the brother lost everything and all you still they're giving him blows, Matt? Why, Matt, no wonder some police officers just figure out, you know, something I'm looking for myself too. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much. Hello. These are our military guys, if you want to say it like this. I mean, they're here to serve, and I suspect we should give them all the respect. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah.
Matt, we haven't seen anything yet, you know. If you notice, it's coming so frequently, and by the dozens, those kind of complaints coming to the ear. Let me tell you something, Matt. It's a serious thing. Once Kerrit is there as dictator of this country, this thing will multiply, and everything of this nature that's coming like that, brother man, is from him. And the police chief is doing a good job for him on that too.
Caller, thank you very much. 9:08 is the morning time. We'll take another phone call, and we'll be wrapping it up in a minute. Hello. Nobody there. We'll continue with this song of Exile One. Somebody says, I know this man. He was married to my aunt. I know the story personally. But where are the sympathies with my brother? I believe you should try to get in touch with Mills. I don't think Mr. Mills will call. I've actually asked him not to. If Mr. Mills should call, then all the other police officers should be allowed to call as well. It's 9:09. Hello.
Hey, Matt, good morning.
To you, sir.
And good morning to Thomas. Matt, I want to sympathize with the brother because I've known him for quite a while. I've seen him always. I always meet him. He always make jokes with me and not even realizing that he was going through all that pain. So I want to sympathize with him. But more than that, you're hearing that he served with so many guys during that particular time that he entered the police force. And the brothers are not even in solidarity with him. I can't understand for the life of me. How can I be part of an organization and one brother is hurting so much and nobody's saying nothing or doing nothing? That doesn't make sense to me, Matt. Something is very wrong with this country. For us to be like that towards our own brothers, people that you serve with, you work with for 17 and a half years, and they're not saying nothing on your behalf. Nobody's standing up in solidarity with you. Nobody putting pressures on the powers that be. That doesn't make sense to me, Matt. Have a good day.
Lessons for other police officers as well, huh? It might just be you. Somebody says, man, these are wicked, oppressive spirits that will hinder the progress of this country. Unless, as a nation, we deal justly with every man, we will continue to spin top in mud with pie in the sky. Hello, talk to me.
Could you just give me a synopsis of what's really you guys talking about?
A synopsis, he served the police. The officer talking to me right now. Are you there?
Yes.
All right, I'm talking to a former police officer. He served for 17, and you want to give him your name again? Go ahead.
Thomas.
Mm-hmm. And during the line of duty, he was injured on the left side of his face. A stone hit him, and he can't hear on that side. And he was he is still looking for compensation. Anything else?
Yeah.
All right, man. Sad. Okay. Hello, talk to me. Hello. Mr. Thomas, how far are you prepared to take this?
Well, I don't know how far, but then I need some form of compensation from the government. But then on the other hand, I'll send advice to Mills. Since after that, he's not speaking to me, but I will tell him when it's me that saved him from audit department in Marriott. He knows why. I will not disclose anything on the air.
You wouldn't go further?
I will not go further. He knows why.
He knows.
That saved him from audit department in 1998.
All right. Hello, talk to me here.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning to you. Yes?
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Okay, good. Matt, it is a hurting thing that on two sides, that when one has served in the force, right? I mean, I put myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they would use information and all kind of innuendos to bring down the good name of the police force, right?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Okay, good. Everybody have their individual hurting, painful story, okay? My name is Edward Ravalia, Matt. And Thomas is a very good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he's being repressed or whatever. But I mean, he also has to be careful of how he tread. I mean, I feel for the guy, I know what's happening, and there are a lot of police out there who are hurting, who have the individual story. It has not been from a political context, if I would say, but different circumstances that have led them to where they are today.
Okay.
But having served in the force and having this situation, one has to be very particular in how he readdresses the situation that he's been faced with. Okay? And I hope that this guy gets what he deserves and what not. And then I think move on. I have my personal issues that I need to come and talk to you with also. You know? Very disturbing situations. You understand? And I would like every ex-police officer to understand that certain things have to be held and dealt with a certain level of responsibility, Matt. You understand? And I don't know if I make sense to you.
Yes, you did. You do. And now maybe whenever you're ready to tell me your story, Joe, I'll be here to listen to you. Hello, talk to me.
Hey, Matt Belty, good morning.
How you doing, my brother? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thomas, how are you, sir?
I'm all right.
I just really wanted to lend my voice here and support to you. I personally, I never knew that. I knew of your incident, but never knew that you were going through this ordeal up to this present time. I just want to publicly call on Reuben Blackmore, who himself was a former police officer and really understand more than anybody in the cabinet what police officers normally go through in the line of duty. As you said, your incident took place in the line of duty. You could have been a dead man today. And I just want him to use his good office and his conscience and really try to do whatever he can to assist you and to ease the pain that you have, because you know you have served the country, and to be treated this way at this point in time, I really feel your pain, my brother, and my support is with you, and do whatever you have to do to ensure that you get some form of redress, my brother, man. God bless you, and take care of yourself.
Hello, the farmers are in with me next. Hello.
Good morning to you, to Thomas, and the listening public. You must be of good courage, my boy. God is in control. Not the same welfare, the police welfare, they were looking for assistance for the policemen who killed the 18. If it was a crime you had done, they would have been supportive of you. If it's something you had stolen, they would have supported you. But it's because it's something positive that happened, and they should have assisted you. But don't worry, time will tell. But that is not no good deeds they are doing for the other policemen who are at the back coming and they calling for police. Just a matter of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Somebody says, good morning, Matt. After giving service to your country, especially in the armed forces, this treatment is unacceptable. If you are injured on the job, you should be at least be given a settlement or paid in monthly increments. Where is his pension? Our government needs to honor all contracts entered into if it's civil servants. Hello. On the telephone. Hello.
Yes, my brother, it's me again. I'm listening to it. It's really a hurtful thing to see this man lost his wife. His wife left him because apparently no money is coming in and he lost his house. I think we as Dominicans should take the initiative step to really see that this man really goes back into his house. Because it's a hurtful feeling. We never know, one day it could be our sons, our daughters that could be going into the situation in the future. And individuals, like say, what goes around comes around. So if we do for one today, it could help our children later on. We as Dominicans, overseas and here, should see to it that this man gets back his house, man. It's really a hurtful feeling, man, to see that this man, I hope the bank, he still have the opportunity to get his house. So we as Dominicans, I'm willing to do something myself, like we did before for others. I'm serious, my brother. You take it on yourself and do what you have to do, and we'll take on to the rest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, talk to me. I'm hoping that the authorities are listening and you can do something there for this brother. Hello. Yes.
The last call, the one before the last, I endorsed what the man said. We need to help the man. We can help foreigners. We can help Dominicans as well. Thank you.
Thank you too. Hello.
Hello, Matt.
Uh-huh.
Matt, this government must realize that they're not there forever, And it have a time where it will be a next government and they will want the same assistance, They must realize when you see the table turn, it will turn, They have to realize that. And this government taking people for a ride, but these things is not a joke. This government only there for who support them. If you don't support red, better dead. And that's it. Thank you.
Somebody says, yeah, everyone in this country seems to be in a survival mode. Let's see how long it lasts. The citizens of Dominica are going to regret this. We'll wrap it up on this note here, Thomas. I'm hoping you'll give me an update if anything happens in the near future. Thank you very much for stepping in and talking and telling the country your story this morning.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good morning to you.
C'était en carapène de nous bien chaînés en petit bateau. Jouer nuit, nous coincer, nous bien bateau. Pas de question de revoir Afrique encore. Nous en captivité, ça pas qu'à faire fort. Nous débarquer dans un pays qui n'est soleil. C'est un peu comme chez nous, mais c'est pas pareil. Yo graissez moi, yo exposez moi avec beaucoup de soin. Et comme marchandise, yo vend moi. Pas de travail, yo traitez moi plus mauvais qu'un chien. Pas de travail, moi camarade Pokémon yo vend. Frère moi. Aha. Moi planté tabac sans repos. Yo bat moi, yo maltraité moi. Oh non. Après yo dit arrêtez, planté canne. Ça pas rentable. Betral cabane. Yo déclaré moi en liberté. Tout ça moi besoin, faut moi acheter. Et pour même mettre la main, qu'à continuer à rouler. Mais crie à moi, qu'à continuer. Écoute, pas de travail.
Practice is over. Now is the real thing. The T-Orchestra did it in 2015, but can they maintain bragging rights in 2016 and 2017 as the biggest Caliph band ever? Lucas Band wants it. Signal Band wants it. Grieve wants it. But who will it be? Come find out. Wednesday, November 2nd, Pottersville, Savannah. Tickets $60 in advance. Senti at the gate and VIP $140 EC. Caddis comes alive 2016 at the Pottersville, Savannah. The biggest Caddis bands in Dominica on one stage and mixed band featuring Caddis legend Gordon Henderson. Don't miss it.
If this hurricane coming, I better make sure I'm ready. I have my batteries, flashlight, water, tuna, sardines, and of course, crits. My vital supplies. Plus, this new packaging, it stays pressure for long. So now I'm prepared for anything.
Crits, bottle supplies.
Some people have to wait a whole year to go and enjoy Creole Festival. Or save a party l'argent to go on Cruise Ship Festival. Merci bon Dieu pour Shillingford, and all over Dominica, everybody is enjoying their festival. And you don't need a season ticket, because when you take home festival disinfectant, cleanser and deodorizer to freshen up your floors and countertops and disinfect your tables where you're eating and sharing your good food, your kitchen sinks, your living room, your bathroom, your home will smell like, and all germs and bacteria will just dead on arrival. From tomorrow, buy at least 2 or more bottles of festival disinfectant in over 6 fragrances from Shillingford, like Caribbean Breeze, Baby Essence, Fruit Essence. Child, when you hear festival disinfectant, does make your home smell clean and smell fresh and smell brand new. Everybody should have their own festival. Have your own festival in your home. Festival deodorizing disinfectant you can afford. From Shillingford, 7-Eleven, and from wholesalers and retailers island-wide. No, have your festival.
All right, let's talk here for a minute. I want to engage Mr. Louis and Patrick here on the very controversial subject now before controversial bill now before Parliament they will debate tomorrow on this Sexual Offences Amendment Act there, and a part of this, a husband is guilty of the offense of rape where he has sexual intercourse with his wife without her consent, by force, fear, or the use of a drug or thing with intent to stupefy or overpower her. And of course, it's causing a lot. Mr. Lennox Linton, you heard him this morning basically saying we need the public to discuss this further. Ephesians 5:22-33. I'm quoting the Bible this morning. You see, we're having a debate between the religious people and the legal people here. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so all wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Now, there's a big debate going on whether, it should remain biblical, or we've heard the legal luminaries talking about rape. And this was introduced sometime in 1998. We had the Sexual Offences Act. Now they have changed this. And you'll hear of the amendments in a while. But on the line, before I introduce the pastors, is Pastor Randy Rodney. He doesn't seem too pleased over what's going on. Good morning, Pastor Randy Rodney.
Good morning, Matt. How are you doing?
Good.
Matt, I'm glad that I am involved in that discussion, and I will always be involved in the discussions when it concerns the Bible, it concerns the church, and it concerns the matters of state. Let me start, Matt, from the knowledge that I have, and that is number one. Marriage is not a function of the state, and that is because marriage is an institution created by God. The state, over the years, have stood by that institution. If you read the Marriage Act, Chapter 35:1, it makes provision for marriage officers, and those marriage officers are largely church ministers. In fact, the original act only gave the registrar at the time powers to marry somebody in his office, and so the original act called the registrar an ex officio marriage officer. And the fact that, in fact, the state recognized that marriage is not a function of the state. The state stamps, if you like, marriage as an institution of God. Now, the next thing to note about that, Matt, is by very definition, original definitions of the word husband and wife, one cannot rape the other by very definition. If I may go down the Bible, we can go down the Bible and we will be able to list this thing out. The Bible says when a man gets married to a woman, they become one. The institution of marriage dictates that they become one. We can set that aside for a while. Let us look at what is there and what is the best for society. The original, the Act of 1998, and I have a hard copy of that, a bound copy of that I've had for years, states, and I think Mr. Linton quoted it very well on the radio this morning, it gives conditions under which a husband can rape a wife. And when you look at all these conditions, what it simply says is that there is existing in the relationship problems that renders the marriage almost null and void, or like they say in legal terms, irretrievably broken. It speaks about a divorce decree, a separation order, a court order preventing the husband from having sex with his wife, etc. Now, that to my mind makes sense, right, in terms of ensuring that there is not abuse. And I heard you quote from Ephesians chapter 5 a while ago, one of the verses in Ephesians chapter 5 that sometimes even we religious leaders fail to look at is verse number 29, that says that man never yet hateth himself, which means that in God's mind for marriage, a man and a woman is one, and he cannot do something to his wife that injures himself. That itself presupposes that a man ought not abuse his wife. Of course, we can go into the argument of why that happens when a man abuses his wife. And I'm for the protection of women in marriage. I am for the protection of, in fact, both men and women in marriage. But once you take off those provisos that's in the Act of 1998 and make it blanket that a man can rape his wife, she can get a charge, she can get whatever, it means that you begin to destroy the fabric of marriage. The fabric of marriage is that two people enter into this marriage contract and they say to each other, I'm going to live together with you for the rest of my life. In fact, the law calls it a marriage contract. The Bible calls it a covenant. A covenant is different than a contract. A covenant is stronger than a contract. When you begin to say that a man or a woman can just take up their spouse for a criminal act like this, in fact, Lennox made a point, and I don't think somebody who wrote the law are even thinking about that. Because the rape is one, but unlawful sexual connection is worse than the rape in my mind. It means that if I am in my house with my wife, Matt, I cannot pass around her in the kitchen and touch any of her, sexual anatomy.
Yes.
He can take me up and say, for unlawful sexual connection, and I'm liable to go to prison for a maximum of 14 years. That is crazy. That's madness. Now, if my wife and I have problems in the marriage, then it's understood. But hey, what needs to happen is if my wife is discontent with me and we have problems in the marriage, she needs to find legal means to draw the line to say, this is where I'm at. What has been happening with us, and I'm going to be very blunt on this one, Matt, is that over the years, and every man, whether married or not, knows that most women in our culture have used sex as a weapon. So they want something, they use sex. They don't want something, they use sex. You do something, they use sex. What do you think is going to happen when these women now know that if you have sex with me, you rape me? What do you think is going to happen? We already have a lot of trouble in Dominica, in the family. We're going to have much more trouble. The point is, if the woman feels aggrieved, she has an opening. Get a court order. Get something. Because for you to get one of those things, you must establish reason. You must establish habit. You must establish practice for you to get a court order, for you to get a divorce decree, for you to get a separation order. You must have a reason for it. But when you write the law like that, you can get up in the morning and say, Mr. raped me last night. And guess what? Here's the law. Nobody sees when anybody have sex, man. Far less a husband and wife. So guess what is going to the court? Her word against yours, plus the evidence of semen, maybe. And maybe some bruises in certain areas. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen? The woman is always going to win that case because the deck is stacked against the husband. The deck is stacked against the husband. And those husbands in Parliament must know that. Let me say that to you finally, Matt, and I'm going to use your medium to do that. Some of us have already sat down. We have drafted a letter. I have sent it to a legal mind to read and to vet. That letter will be ready for pastors to sign today. Our intention is that we want to send a letter to the head of Parliament, carbon copy to all the parliamentarians to say, we commend you for taking the Sexual Offences Act to Parliament, but we would prefer if you hold on. Let us discuss this before you make it law. Because as far as I'm aware, I don't believe that we have had discussions on this bill from the church sector at all. As far as I'm aware, I do not know that has happened. My understanding is this part was quickly taken out of the bill so we can pass it in Parliament and nobody knows. I would prefer if we have some discussion. So I'm going to ask pastors to give me a call. There will be a letter available for you to sign today. You can read it. If you are somewhere close, send me your email address. I'll send you the letter. You can read it and make sure we sign it and we send it to the head of Parliament. We have to hand deliver it between today and tomorrow morning so that they know and they can have an idea of where we are.
So you're saying this has trouble written all over it?
Of course, Matt. It has trouble for the family. It has the tentacles of destroying family written all over it. And anybody with any sense will know that. Now, it is true that somehow the devil has wound his way in legal systems, in government systems, and the first line of attack is family. But we as church people can't sit here and say, okay, because the devil is doing that, we're going to do nothing about it. No, we must contend. The scripture says for the faith, we must keep fighting for it, and we must not waste any opportunity to stand for the gospel of Jesus Christ and stand for family. I am for family. I've been married for 31 years. I thank God for it. And I'm sure there are many people out there who know that once that enters marriage, so with the little trouble sometimes you have with your wife, is now you can't talk in your house, is now you can't do nothing in your house. You better kiss your marriage goodbye.
Thank you very much. We're going to come back, Dominica. We are going to come back right after this. We'll hear from Mr. Louis and Patrick in the house.
Dominica! It's long overdue, the waiting is over. C'est temps pour un départ, c'est temps pour se célébrer. The Old School Bar and Grill Massacre will come alive for a pre-Heritage Day showdown. With 48 karat gold swinging stars this Saturday, October 22nd from 10 p.m. Put your hand in the air. Wu-Tang, DMSC, Mesdames, Swinging Stars, Prince Wadix, and Danger Dan. This Saturday, Old School Bar in Massacre. When last you had a good dance. When last you dance, Kole, Kwashe, and Lala. This Saturday, Old School Bar and Club Massacre, Swinging Stars, Prince Wadix, and Danger Dan. Entrance $25, supported by the extraordinary network Digicel and Kumuli Chemesau. Sakai Malalan.
All right, let's talk to the farmers in the house this morning. Mr. I see you paying close attention, Mr. Louis.
Yes, I pay great attention, man. To me, it's just a matter of, spiritually speaking, it's just rubbish.
Rubbish?
Yes, rubbish. We are living in the dispensation of grace. That's all I know. Freedom. Grace. And if you do not have grace of God in you, you will do anything. Now, I would love them, they can register that tomorrow. Go to the parliament, pass it, make it law. I'm not under law. Are you, Patrick?
No,
Under
sir,
law?
I'm not.
I'm not under law. They can pass the law now today. It will not affect me. You see, because I'm not under law, I am under grace. In Genesis, God says, listen, God do the blessing. He blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. That is God's blessing. He did that freely. Grace. His love. And he said, when God joined somebody together, let no man put asunder. Why government coming now to come invade people's freedom? Invade people's freedom. God said, let no man. When he said no man, you know what that involved? Involve you, the very man that married that young lady. You are a man. No man. play with that. And then, add it. There's a topic that you need the scripture to get the references to bring that out. No, because I am not against of no law, or I am not making no law. Law doesn't affect me at all. So I am free to say, when the Bible says, a husband, love your wife. I wanted those pastors to listen to that. Husband, love your wife, even as Christ also loved the church. And he gave himself for it. And he says to the wife, wife, submit to your own husband. What man can come and do there? It's just like baptism. If I get converted, you baptize me in the sea and the water. What law has to do with that? We are too much concerned about law. God concerned about grace. Grace multiplied by grace equal grace. We are saved by what? By law? We saved by grace. And we keep in by grace. And grace is the one that sustains us.
But Patrick, let us use the argument that, of course, man might use. Say, well, we're not under the laws of the Bible, we're under the laws of the land. How do you debate that, Patrick?
Well, Matt, as far as I'm concerned, God had a son, and he sent him on the earth to explain things, and he called him his only son.
Amen.
And we are to, we are to decide that God had no law in the beginning with man. Man was free like a bird to do anything he wants to do. No law. Then the law came in during the time of Moses. It's Moses who brought the law. And the scripture says, God says, the law came by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. In other words, you are not supposed to live under the law. Man is choosing to live under law because he cannot agree with he cannot love. Man has a problem, Matt, in loving. He cannot love. As the brother Louis quoted there, he tells you to love your husbands even as Christ loved the church. You have to have the love of Christ to understand that. You have to lean. You have to cling to love. Love, belief, and faith. There is no law. There is no law against those things. There are many situations in this country where man cannot even put a law on it because it makes no sense to put a law on it.
Hold on. Love never, listen to the word, love never fails. There is no failure in love.
Never fails.
I don't understand those things that coming on.
That's right. No,
love never fails. Many water cannot quench love. It is unquenchable because it is given by God. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in should not but have everlasting life. That's what love is entailed.
That's right. That's what grace brought, everlasting life.
All right, let's take a phone call. Hello. Yes.
Good morning, Martin. Good morning to your parents.
Yes.
Matt, since morning I'm listening to that and I alone making noise with myself. That law they about to pass there make no sense. Men need to educate. Nobody talk about the menopause that women just have that preventing the sex. Men really fighting with their wife for that. You giving it to somebody else, give it to me. So then they the rapist. But nobody knows they talk about the menopause that preventing that life to come on. Matt, later.
9:42 is the morning time. Interesting discussion continuing as we are about to, of course, present this piece of controversial legislation, a bill, to Parliament tomorrow. Patrick, you were saying
have you ever entered a lawyer's office?
Yes, many times.
You learn about the laws that God placed on man. It was just 10 commandments, and every other law that emanated from the 10 Commandments. So if you obeyed the 10 Commandments, you didn't have a problem with
So there would be no need for this.
No need to watch yourself on the other laws. And the laws of the 10 Commandments, first of all, the first 5 or so laws pertain to the love of God, and the other love pertain to man loving man loving his neighbor. But as you know, Matt, man has a problem to love his neighbor. This is why God tells you, you cannot say you love God whom you cannot see, and you don't love your brother who you can see.
Very good point there. Hello.
Matt, I agree with you, lady. When you tell them no sex because in menopause there's sex.
Okay.
I agree with you, lady. So they have to look at all that too.
There are 2 laws.
Yeah.
The laws in the Bible called the ceremonial law. And there is what the Bible called the moral law.
Yeah.
God put it in plain words in his book, the Bible. Law concerning marriage, animal, people living, all things there. Services in the temple, etc. Everything is recorded. Right. Today, God is dealing with 3 people. The Jews, the Gentiles, and the Church of God. The Church of God is not going according to the law of the Jews or the Gentiles. The Church of God is separated from the Jews and the Gentiles. Both Jews and Gentiles can be part of the church, but the church is an entity by itself. It is the body of Christ, and Christ is the head of that body. How can a woman say he's a believer, a born-again believers, and your man, your husband are on your bed with you, and maybe something arose, and then you maybe keep yourself, I married for 52.5 years, I don't go with that. I recently married, I don't go with that. Right. But let's say something like that happen. And then for that woman to take the husband to court, that is devilish. Nothing to do with godliness.
That is devilish, Mr.
Devilish! I said loud and clear. And the pastor's supposed to know that. How come you going to make paper for them to send again? If you have to do that, you have to find again the lesbian, the man and man marriage. You can't fight that. It is an evil word.
What Mr. Louis, you don't even need to go in all these laws because there is no solution in law.
You get it.
And the brother has just joined us.
Solution doesn't peace, it doesn't satisfaction, it doesn't enjoyment.
I was telling Matt, has he ever entered a lawyer's office? You could, and I was comparing that with the law that God gave, which was the 10 principal commandments, and every
simple.
commanded it. But if you enter a lawyer's office, Matt, first of all, she has a cabinet from wall to wall filled with laws. The laws of this year, the laws of 1971, the laws of 1990. The lawyer cannot even take track of the law.
Too much fun.
Let's take a phone call. Hello.
Yes, Matt. Good morning to you, the panel and the listening public.
Yes,
Very good, troubling topic. And then this is a topic that has to be discussed
over and over again.
Let me tell you, while some women really go through menopause, some women just using menopause as an excuse. If you have menopause to have sex with your man inside of the house, how then you go and have sex with another man outside? You have menopause. And plenty of our women, they are to be blamed as well. Yes, we have some greedy men, I'm not saying no, but plenty of our women have to be blamed. They want to sleep with long nighty, with girdles, with tights. They want to sleep with jeans pants. They want to sleep with brassiere. They want to sleep like well get down. But when it's Carnival Monday and Tuesday, they can expose their whole soul to the whole world. Yes, I'm not saying men do have their fault. They do have their fault too. But some women are just naturally wicked and they use menopause as an excuse. And with that law they're going to pass, it's just going to turn our men more into man. Be careful of the laws we pass. Thank you very much, boy. This debate
is, of course, Mr. Louis and Patrick just added their piece to it. Let's take a phone call. We'll say good morning to our friend who just stepped, Andre. And, of course, ask him to add his, his 2 cents, if you will, to the whole discussion. But let's take a few minutes here. 449-3095. Yes.
Good morning, Matt.
Yes.
And good morning to the farmers in the house. And
Yes. Good morning.
I mean, I hear the women talking about menopause, and men just need to understand that they're asking men to take a pause.
That's all they're asking. Hello, talk to me. And you heard the lady saying you guys have to stop sleeping with your jeans pants. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, blessings to you, my brother.
How you doing, my brother? Blessings, you have to behave yourself, huh?
Your brother say menopause means men take a pause.
Yeah.
Matt is very interesting. Mr. Louis, Mr. Deloney, blessings to you all.
Yes, yes.
Matt, I am not saying women go through menopause or a woman just in a bad mood. Maybe through a menstrual cycle. Women are a bit complicated. Men are simpler to understand. I understand all of that. A man rips his wife or force himself on her, not rip. Unless if it becomes violent. You can remember I told that to you last week, Matt? If you could see the woman have a black eye, abrasions all over her body, he bruised her, something that he beat his wife and in addition forced his way by having sex with her. But Matt, there are other avenues to deal with that, and the brothers then bringing the biblical aspect into the whole thing, which is healthy. Well, what I'm saying, Matt, if you have a relationship, Lennox pointed it out, what happened to the children? What happened to that family? Is it your objective to remedy the situation or to further aggravate a volatile situation where a husband and wife is going through the problem, whether she wants menopause or she have other men, menopause or other men, and then something happens? How can that wife, that vow to stand by the man's side, send him to jail now? So what about mediation? What about, something, you out of the house for a year? We're going to pass a law where if it is found where a man, what they call rape his wife, he out of the house for a year. And if he persists, then we will have to send him away permanently or something out of the house. Why jail him? What that is going to happen to the boy, the girl watching the mother and the father go through that kind of ordeal there, and what is going to happen to them in their relationship? To me, it is ridiculous and it is criminal as well, Matt.
All right, let's take a phone call. I want to introduce Andrew there for of course, a few minutes. Say hello.
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Uh-huh.
How are you?
Okay.
Matt, I am in total agreement that women must be protected. I'm also in agreement that somebody call and talk menopause, give effects or effects when it comes to sexual acts with husband and wife. But Matt, a man cannot, in nowhere, based on scripture, rape his wife, and the wife cannot rape her husband. The Bible states, Mark, in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, read it, verse 4 and 5. It stated clearly that a man do not have power over his own body but his wife, and a wife do not have power over her body but the husband. That thing I'm hearing about, it just have me upset.
Well, it's the law. As they said, they're trying to introduce tomorrow. I can read it for you again, just in case you didn't hear it. A Sexual Offences Amendment Act there, okay? A husband is guilty of the offense of rape where he has sexual intercourse with his wife without her consent by force, fear. Even if you threaten your wife, she can take you down. I'll say something like, if you don't give it to me, what will happen to you? All of this can happen as well. So, men, I'm just asking you to be very, very careful here. Andre, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. The topic is so interesting that I could not resist popping in.
All right.
And it is very difficult to fathom the extent to which it can go. But while Patrick and Louis made reference specific to the laws of God, and the laws of nature is also to be considered, and the greater powers or forces that control our little planet of Earth, that is, our moods swing, our plants grow, life in itself, the entire force of life is governed. And to some degree, it does not always have to be the thought of man and his actions. There are forces outside of man that governs man. Unless man seeks to understand that, then it leaves him with enacting laws to stress his brother, to stress his sister, to just, again, I guess when Louis said love, it covers a multitude of sins, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to be enacted tomorrow. It's going to have consequences. But tell me, truthfully, do you think everyone who will be debating it in the House will be above board, free of its clutches?
That's a big question. But Patrick, I'm going to get a comment from you and Mr. Louis, and we'll wrap it up this morning. We'll continue at 1 o'clock, Talk on the Block. It's, of course, it's gone viral. Everybody's concerned about what's going on. Men, more particularly, are concerned. There are women who says, well, when we say no, is no. So, Patrick, let me hear you.
Well, Matt, it all comes down to this. It's very, very simple. Does man have a maker who made the heavens and the earth and who calls himself God, all authority above you? Does man listen to that voice? No. God shows you where you cannot solve everything with law. He gets you away from the law. He took you away from the law to put you under the, you could call it a law, the law of love. And that is where man is failing. He fails to love, to believe, and to have faith. So, go to the law. Go to the lawyer's office. You'll see how many books she has there that she has to study to be a lawyer. Go there and see what commerce law has done to man.
Somebody's asking me, well, it seems these days, Matt, your husband must make an appointment to have sex.
Even then.
With his wife.
Even then.
Mr. Lee, let me hear you already wrap up this morning.
Matt.
Yes, quickly.
You know how many children in Dominica that are in a house,
yes,
and they don't belong to the father of the house? You know many? You
yes.
do not know that.
I don't know how many, but there are many.
You get it?
Yes.
Right? Because of man rule, man's way, outside the realm of biblical, spiritual things, they do not compare spiritual things with spiritual, because the natural man cannot. He just cannot. Let me go to one scripture. If I quote it in Corinthians.
Yes.
A woman have no power over his own body as long we marry. I have power over her body.
Mm-hmm.
And the man have no power over his body, the woman have power over my body. I want them to put that in the law and explain it. And if they don't, come to me.
And he says, present your bodies a living sacrifice.
I dealing with spiritual things. I believe with God.
Yes.
Since 1955. I don't fear storm. I don't fear earthquake. I don't fear guns. I don't fear fire. Because I do not know how I'm going to die. But I fear God. And that's how I get wisdom and knowledge. And I believe by the grace of God, the Almighty God, through Jesus Christ.
Well, farmers will talk next week.
You missed out on the 250 special. Pani po problem. From today until October 21st. Purchase your World Crowd Music Festival season tickets for only $275 EC. Only at the DFC office downstairs the Financial Center, Roseau. Only $275 EC. Padi upate sam, padi upate tan. The government of Dominican is Government Authority and DFC continue to make it possible for every Dominican to be part of this historic World Crowd Music Festival. Only $275 EC from today until October 21st. You missed out on the 250 special. Pani po problem. From today until October 21st. Purchase your World Crowd Music Festival season tickets for only $275 EC. Only at the DFC office downstairs the Financial Center, Roseau. Only 275 EC dollars. Padi upate sam, padi upate tan. The government of Dominican is Dominican Authority and DFC continue to make it possible for every Dominican to